Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, this is not just some random object. This is what I believe to be a sapphire, British Columbia, self-collected. Yeah, anyways, you have to see it in person to believe it, but there we go. So clearing. All right, this is going to be a divine feminine check-in. I woke up this morning in the energy of, if the divine masculines have been reluctant to talk about feelings, to get into that, then that must be a mirror. So we're going to look at the divine feminine's relationship to their feelings and the journey at this time. Just because we have emotions coming up and there's a lot of them doesn't mean that that is balanced, necessary, true, kind. And we're going to get into it. To me, it looks like the feminines have been coming out of an over-emotionality into more of an emotional balance. And yes, there has been a 0 point, of getting rid of all of the hysterics and coming into truth. Look at that, presence, truth. So yeah, let's see where the divine feminine's emotional calibration is at the journey. So divine masculine, oh, I just saw the wifey card. And that kindness here. So yeah, feminines have done a heck of a lot of work to bring their emotions into check and possibly to uncover authentic feelings and emotions for the first time. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles at the bottom. This is a brand new beginning in the physical. But let's have a look. All the things that we usually cover on the daily reads. Oh, I just opened up sessions for this Friday and Saturday. If you want to grab a session right away with me, I've got some open. Okay, and what are the emotions coming in for these feminines that are balancing out and connecting with authentic emotions on the journey? Getting those in check, purifying them, bringing them into righteousness, and what will happen as a result of these levels of emotional awareness. Doggy hair, Suki. Okay, what can we see for how the feminines are viewing their connections? Bravery. Yeah, so when we're keeping this emotional stuff at bay, in check, balanced, there's a great deal of bravery because it's uncharted territory. A lot of emotions can have to do with hormones, can have to do with, different aspects of the cycle, those things, but they can also be control issues and temper tantrums or emotional temper tantrums, like a kid not getting their way and wishing for the masculine to come in and save them. This requires bravery to move beyond into uncharted territory. Yeah, doing the inner work. So feminines, you truly are good on your own. I just did a reading for your person. If you're feminine or masculine, this is talking about coming into being good on your own without relying on crutches, rebellious energy to go and be with other people or fill the void when things don't go our way. So yeah, feminines are tapping into like a second wind, their resilience. They're coming out of using emotions as control paradigms. What is this? Humor, almost, in the upright. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. So that came out in the inverse. So feminines are getting there. Right now, it's a little bit sincere to go through the ascension. Sometimes I think of this card as lighting our own torch in a dark tunnel and not having anyone there with us. And we have to keep going on our own, knowing there's light on the other side, this humor, lighter side of life. So yeah, feminines, keep with it. You don't need somebody else to pacify your emotions. And I really believe that the feminine collective here is doing the inner work to understand when they put emotions on masculines and when they can actually manage those things and balance them out themselves. What's coming next? Ooh, King of Pentacles to commitment, hubby card here. So we did see the wifey card in the beginning. And yeah, this is coming into sight on the horizon. This is you committing to self, solving your emotional issues, balancing yourself out. After all, you're the one that got you into the beliefs and the perspectives that cause for control issues with emotions, even if you're not doing it consciously. I want to say, I'm not saying that people go around manipulating consciously, but wounded people wound people, hurt people, right? And so when you are crossing over middle and not managing your own emotions, you're not committed to self, and therefore you can't be committed to a partner. You're committed to appeasing your emotional turbulence and using somebody else to do that for you. These connections are showing us that we don't need to do that and be codependent with others. Yeah, really good stuff. What can what can we see for the conscious mind for their masculine? Oh, sweet. Son of Cups. This is the Knight of Cups. So this is your feminine's way of offering you genuine love, is to balance their own emotions and not put that on you masculines. And that is something that's happening right now. These feminines are on their destined path, but in real time, they're realizing they want to give you their best. They don't want to give you this emotional turbulence that they have had in karmic scenarios in the past, or possibly you've experienced that in karmic scenarios, masculines, where you've had a feminine energy that has been impossible to appease, making you jump through hoops, wanting you to fill their void, and then being reckless, rebellious. That may have been something you've experienced in some way. So these feminines are bringing their emotional balance to the table. It has been quite a journey with this. A lot of times as the feminines have been trying to hold their own, they've been too cool for school, and the masculines have wondered if they've even cared. But yes, if you're with me at this stage of the journey, everybody loves everybody so much. Okay, let's keep going. Purpose. I know what I'm here to do. So part of the purpose for these feminines is to learn how to master their own emotions so that they can be of earthly good, so they can channel that emotionality into their life's work, into contributing in the world, into nurturing themselves and others truly, instead of being misguided, misdirected. What's happening as a result? That Ace of Pentacles. So behind the scenes, under the surface, this is anchoring, this stability, internal stability. This is the abundance that goes hand in hand with purpose. They're both in the inverse here. So as feminines balance out, this purpose and abundance can come in because the emotions aren't a distraction, a railroading thing that happens when things don't go well. So these feminines are going to be Jedi superconductors and be able to contribute in a way that is unshakable into the world, because they've dialed it in first person. They're not easily rocked by circumstances or things that don't go their way. They keep going when that happens. What can we see for the heart space for the feminines mastering their emotions? Yeah, they're realizing that anything that they choose to look at as an obstacle doesn't have to remain that way. They can see it in different ways. They can work the puzzle of those control issues. The Four of Swords comes after the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is where we give ourselves an impasse. We stab our own heart with faulty logic. This is getting past that and looking for solutions, allowing for the solutions to illuminate. We can pull the strings of any kind of a standstill if we take accountability for the blockages that cause us to look at our reality without any potentials, without any solutions. As soon as we can put aside the slippery slope thinking or the emotionality, we can pull the strings of the nature of reality and move forward by redirecting those control issues that manifest as over emotionality or misguided emotions. We can streamline that and channel it in the right directions, purposeful directions. What is the emotion here? Freedom. Yeah, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Exactly. That's exactly what we're seeing here. These connections, because they won't come together, because divine masculines, they appear skittish, they appear like they run, but maybe that's because they love you so much, feminines, that they have not wanted to be bound into anything that was codependent. So their intuition, their gut instinct said, no, it doesn't feel right to me. And yeah, so you're finding your own freedom. See how this works in tandem, where the connections can't come together because something feels off or it doesn't sit quite well with our soul. Everybody is being forced to come into their own mastery. With karmic scenarios, we get enmeshed faster than we can say, hi, how are you? And this is freeing us from those kinds of bound connections where we get in over our head without really knowing who we are or who the other person is. Those are designed to be rapid learning lessons. What can we see is coming forward here? Is the Queen of Pentacles now. So, you know, we do have these counterparts in the physical, and this Ace of Coins, this beginning. So much is going on behind the scenes. So I want to say also, it's not just feminines that you're managing your emotions and guiding the entire thing into union. You're doing your share. Your counterpart is doing their share as well. You might also be experiencing freedom from the over-emotionality because the energies at large are actually safe. And because these divine masculines are not karmic, they give you that safety and protection. So you don't have to tell yourself the storylines that cause the disintegration, that cause that panic, that fear coming in. It's a tandem effort. These masculines are doing so much to stabilize the energy. Likewise, your accountability feminines is doing that as well. We will get there. I just heard eventually we will. We will get there. What can we see on the Heart of Hearts for the masculines? Okay, there's something right now where feminines, you're having to channel straight from source, straight from divine. This is the river of life, the well. It comes after the world in this deck, which is an ascended energy, one of two ascended cards. So you are transcending the over emotionality of the material realm perspectives. Right now, it also looks like you may be at a distance energetically from your counterpart. So in the physical, yes, but the telepathic card here is in the inverse. And what I see is that you have stopped plugging into your masculine to test the temperature or the weather report on the connection, and you're going straight to source. That's important, because if your masculine is in a funk and you tune into them, you're going to be in a funk. But if you tune into the divine, it will always show you true, show you what you should be feeling, what is available to be feeling, even when your human masculine is in a funk. So this is vital right now to help stabilize emotions. The well also, you know, water is the suit of emotions, the cups. So yeah, you've stopped looking at your masculine for the weather report here, and you're going to source and you're feeling your truth. So yes, feminines are correcting course emotionally. Success, I know that there's no greater goal than to love. The only place we can look for example of true love is on Most High. We can't look to a broken, healing human for that love first and foremost. We can have the divine backing and then look at our counterpart through the lens of what is possible. But we don't need to, you know, get wrapped up in the ebb and flow of somebody in their healing journey being hot and cold one way and the next. What can we see as a result here? So feminines, you're learning to give yourself, or to intuitively or internally understand when there's something that is balanced or imbalanced in you. And that is not found in your masculine. That's found in direct connection to source. And then you can extend that generosity and that kindness, that wholeness to your masculine. So you're turning to source for success here. What can we see for the manifestations the feminines are wishing? Yeah, progress. Feminines are very much taking stock of how their own emotions, their own emotionality, their own truth, their own guidance system has been there all along, but how they were in a less productive state in the past, maybe past relationships, past interactions, past perceptions. This is my card of the free will, and careful consideration of how that perspective has influenced the way they've been interpreting things, and therefore the actions they've been taking or not. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. So feminines look like they're stopped in their tracks, realizing that instead of having lower perceptions of things and then running on triggers and running on wounding, they have full control to go higher and to look at things through the lens of that higher love, rather than feel disintegrated or dissatisfied with what is happening and then feel that it's a worthiness issue, these feminines are tuning into their emotions and seeing the potentials and then holding that standard in place. What is the emotion here? Health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. So this is a work in progress so that the feminines understand that their health and wellness, first person, is their accountability. And that is determined by what they are aligning with. So if they are accepting crumbs and settling and letting themselves down over and over, that is not going to honor their physical incarnation. That's only going to serve to create and perpetuate this unbalanced stuff. That can manifest in health issues, that can manifest in mental illness, that can manifest in emotional volatility or numbness. So these feminines are realizing that they are only harming themselves by having skewed perspectives and attaching emotional volatility or emotional imbalances to those perceptions is a slippery slope that they are the only ones missing out when they go through that. Yeah, and Judgment, this is being totally illuminated. This is a card of seeing behind the karma. This is also a card of second chances. This is a redemption energy. So this is the redeeming hope here for the feminines, is that they are realizing that their own limerence, attachment, control issues emotionally only serve to harm them ultimately. This is absolutely powerful. Thank you, masculines, for being of an energy that you are collaborating these incredible, precise, high-level lessons with your feminines. And thank you for you masculines who are watching this, because you get to hear the cutting edge of feminines actually coming into mastery of their emotions, and it's because of the love they have for you and from the divine. What can we see for the actions? Yeah, the actions these feminines are taking regarding their emotions. Right, so they're seeing that they can transcend the earthly paradigms. They can transcend what they thought was possible previously in relationships, and they can, put that out to you masculines. So it's interesting to me that we had this blockage of the feminines leaning into your emotional energy at any given moment, going to source instead, and then redirecting that flow of energy in a positive way and putting out the high frequency instead of letting you and your emotional weather determine how they're feeling. They're tuning into source and then emitting, exuding that next level kind of frequency towards you. What can we see? Self-esteem. I possess the gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. So yeah, feminines, you're becoming superconductors because you're channeling straight from source emotional truth, not this game of telephone or whatnot from picking up on things and then responding in an animalistic way, an unconscious way, a material and limited way. You are realizing you have the power to go higher. This is the gift of the soul. This is where your true spiritual worth is found. Channeling this source essence, being somebody who is righteous enough, pure enough to go to source, whose conscience is clear, who is blemish free, who is righteous, who can kneel before the divine energetically and say, show me the highest truth. When we are not proud of ourselves, when we've got a lot of guilt and shame stuffed in our soul or in our human and it's clouding our soul, we forget to go to the divine for this clarity, for this redemption. And so, yeah, feminines, it might be worth doing a purging where you write everything out on paper that is guilt, shame based. Anything you've seen, had done to you, done to others, write it all out and release it, because that's clouding your remembrance to go to source for your divine intel. If you want to accelerate this process of seeing the highest truth, clear your channel, clear your conscience, and step into righteousness. This is where you can be an even more pure expression of divine love into the world. What's coming as a result? Oh, look at that, this love connection. There's the twin flame caduceus. All these commitment cards, all of these reciprocation, divine counterparts here, they all came out in the inverse with this major awakening. So yeah, feminines, you get what you put out there, and this love is available to you, but it requires that you come into divinity, righteousness, to exude union ready balance here emotionally. What can we see for the challenge the feminines have? The blockage, the impasse, the energies that have looked at odds. We do have the eclipse energy here and this consummation in this kind of eye of the needle. Feminines, be curious how you can see a third option of unity consciousness that isn't polarized. Whenever you're looking at your connection and you observe a polarized at odds energy, and that causes you to feel suffering or powerless or hopeless about your connection, you can remember that there is a redeeming truth, a higher perspective that might require you taking a step back to see and not being so enmeshed with expectations or assumptions or attachment to a particular outcome in a particular way. And so this is really important. The challenge is to continue to be openly curious about why this love is on your heart, but how you can balance your emotions and your clarity as such so that you stay in balance, so you manage your own balance. Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So instead of being at odds, please seek the unity conscious way of looking at things, which is always a gratitude, an acceptance, and an appreciation of the things that are beneficial and beautiful and there. How is this moving? Baby steps. So this is going to be thought by thought, taking each thought captive and looking at where there is any kind of lower vibrational assessment, 2222, of your connection. And one at a time, moving those thoughts in the direction of love. Any of those harbored things. If this love is truly what it is in your life, then all of these lower perceptions must be transmuted and the emotions connected with them balanced. What can we see for the solution? Yeah, the same card, Page of Pentacles, being present, being kind. So that's the same baby steps, one at a time, balancing act, seeing your partner as equal here, but clearing the filter of scorn or missing out or animosity, resentment from the past, so that you can continue to show up in these connections in the presence that starts to establish a new legacy, a new path forward. Love, unconditional love. When you've got things running under the surface where you have animosity because there hasn't been closure, there hasn't been forgiveness, there hasn't been a balance, you haven't released any of the lower vibrational energies, feminines, that's in there. Your masculine can feel that when you think about coming together or when you meet up in the physical. If you haven't done the work to balance yourself out and to really come to terms with your attachments, your, trying to make it something that it isn't. Usually we work ourselves. So with divine relationships, it's different than karmic relationships. Karmic relationships, we're mean to each other. We're nasty. We play games. We do things directly. And there's a back and forth. And there's a lot of wounding and a lot of hurt and throwing monkey poop. In aligned relationships, we can't force them to come together when we're not in balance. And so I'm not talking about abusive things. Get that out of here. The things I'm talking about here is being able to not perceive things in a disintegrated way and managing your own expectations so that you're not trying to force this connection to be something it's not prematurely. So you're not hanging on to the potentials that you saw and then pouting because it didn't come together when you thought it should on your time schedule. Or if your counterpart is not promising you fidelity and they're out with someone else and you're not in that kind of relationship yet, the healing hasn't happened where the two of you come to the forefront and there's that deep, deep sense of safety and security prior to coming to union. If that's still going on and there's still confusion and testing, but you're not glommed together in a relationship and it's two autonomous people just living their life and trying to find their sovereignty and their own way, get rid of the control issues. Radical acceptance. Look at yourself. Look at your expectations. Balance those things out. This is the solution. Seeing yourselves at exactly the same union readiness for where the energy is right now in your connection. Being realistic, practical about that, and not hurting yourself that it should be further ahead than it is by now. Really letting go of those controls. Loneliness, I know I'm never alone. So your counterpart feels just as volatile and sketched out as you do at times about why these connections feel so difficult to wrangle. We're not meant to be trying to force them into compliance or healing. We're meant to let go of those control issues and just absolutely realize it's a tandem process. What a sacred opportunity to have a mirror that is not wishing to bring karma into a connection, that wants to evolve and let go of all of that and have it unfold naturally as it's honestly available between the two of you. What is the new direction here? Yeah, both are seeing past the masks, the facades, the constructs, the physical realm expectations, and there's something much deeper going on. I'm sensing that there does seem to be equanimity coming in between counterparts here. And so many of those tough love messages are talking about the past and that we are moving into more of a smooth energy here where there is an affinity, where it's recognized that we're in this together and that there is progress, major progress that has been happening. And so, yeah, feminines, don't be discouraged about your emotional process here and the ways that your emotions have informed you through this journey. This really, truly is a balancing act, and it is emanated from you, and you do get back what you are truly embodying. But it's time to really be honest with yourself that your emotions maybe in the past have been all over the place, and it's coming into more of a authentic recognition. That means when something doesn't pan out the way that you want, you're not disintegrating into backup plans or telling yourself you must have been crazy then, or maybe you didn't, have it right about the love here. All of those things, gaslighting yourself, are emotional control issues. So we're meant to be balancing our emotions so that we can continue being contribution into the world on the highest, and to be looking to source for the highest perspective available at any given moment. What can we see for the near future? Surrender. Yes, and trusting that it's more than friends. There are deep, intimate foundations being established in these connections that happen prior to union, that justify union, that make union warranted between two people. So just let that good old-fashioned courtship and that getting to know each other for the energetic imprint that you each are, the blueprint that you each are. When you see each other going through life's challenges, twists and turns, and you see each other handling it in sovereignty, autonomy, and mastery, this is where you actually see the character of the person and what they're made of, that you are, exploring this connection with. And that is the way we need to be looking at this. This is an exploration phase where all of the falsehoods are being released and balanced out as the righteousness and the character, the integrity, the honor, the truth of each other is coming to the forefront. Emotions, adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. Yes, these connections have had their fair share of adversity, but that has been so that you can honor and see the unique perspectives and choices that each individual makes. That's where you see their character. Not because they have a duty to align with an agenda of a codependent partner. This is really seeing individuals for who they actually are when push comes to shove. What they're made of, yes. And what's coming, these masculines are finding ways to cut you out of the illusion that the love isn't here. There is a deepening. These masculines want to come in and be your partner, feminines. They really, really do. Let's have some energetic, oh no, I'm going to these. Let's see an energetic card, inspiration card for these connections. We are getting connection, break isolation, seek what brings you vitality. We are all interdependent. Reach out for support. You are not alone. Okay, so masculines watching, your feminine can be an emotional support genuinely to you. This is not about being an island. So these feminines are safe to make connection valid and not make it about them or to glom on and to try and take advantage of your sympathies or you reaching out for their sympathies. These are not codependent connections. So it's safe to really rely on each other in healthy ways, that it's not about you getting self-soothing from somebody else or a temporary band-aid. We have it within ourselves, and therefore we can truly support each other in adult ways. We are all interdependent. So yeah, feminines, there is a freedom of expression between the two here, but seek what brings you vitality. So if you're right now feeling isolation, it says break isolation, but we have self-imposed isolation when we have faulty logic in the way that we're perceiving what is available to us in relationship, or how we perceive the other person is shutting us out if the emotional control paradigms are still at play. When we have emotional mastery, we don't project onto others that they are somehow, able to outcast us or segregate us or polarize. We now know that adversity and going through a rite of passage, a rite of becoming, is a sacred process, and we don't make that a personal dig, a personal agenda or vendetta, I just heard. So yeah, we're interdependent, and these connections are teaching us our own strength, our own resilience, our own tenacity. And we're also able to see that in our dear counterparts. So there aren't imbalances here. It's a tandem effort, but we are all doing the best we can as humans, especially those who come and listen to my readings. I see you, I know you, I feel you, I love you. And yeah, what a great reading. So cheers to the feminine's emotional mastery, because that is a very difficult thing for humans to attain. Much love, everyone. Bye for now.